Hi everyone, Ben Bateman here from Square Enix, and today I'm joined by comic illustrator extraordinaire Adi Granov. Thank you for coming all this way, we really appreciate it.
It's all right.
We've got quite a few questions, some from the community, so we'll just jump straight into it.
Okay, sounds good.
So how long have you been drawing and illustrating? Is it like a lifelong kind of profession?
Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I've drawn since I was very young, but I think I became serious about it maybe around 15, 16. That's when I decided that actually maybe there's a career to be had out of it. But yeah, as far back as I can remember, I've always really enjoyed drawing.
Do you have a favourite medium? Like, do you prefer painting, or is drawing more your style?
I mean, a bit of both. I like the graphic quality of drawing, so all of my art has a strong drawing as a structure, so that's why a lot of all of my art has the outlines. Even when it's painted, I still keep that sense of a graphic image by keeping the outlines around the objects and characters. So I think in a nutshell it's very drawing centric, but then painted to make it more lavish.
Right. Do you feel like that you're constantly developing as an artist? Is this something that you reach a peak, or is it like, any kind of creative medium, you're just constantly learning, constantly doing different things?
I would hope so. Yeah, I think once you reach kind of a plateau, that's a sad state of affairs.
Right.
I think we as people evolve all the time, and as an artist, because it's not just work. It's also part of you, because it's coming from your imagination. It keeps evolving. So I hope I'm getting better, because you can evolve in the wrong direction. But
Sure.
Hopefully it keeps evolving in a good direction. And I try to. Sometimes part of it is subconscious. It just kind of develops. But part of it can be kind of nudged and directed. And I try to nudge it in better directions, so yes, definitely.
So in your early years, when you were finally discovering that this is something you wanted to do, did you go through sort of like almost classical training, like go through university to learn to draw? Is it, or just something that naturally came to you?
No, that's that what I was saying about being 16 years old. I was born in Bosnia, in Yugoslavia, and there the school system means that you start a trade school at 15. So at that time, at 14, I had to choose what I wanted to do,
Right.
and I chose to go to art school. And I didn't take it seriously for the first couple of years, but then at 16, so it was a 4-year kind of a traditional art school, drawing, still life, and sculptures and stuff like that. And then I moved to the States when I was 18, and then decided to go to a more illustration, specific a course that was a 3-year college course. So altogether, I guess 7 years of art school.
So for Square Enix London Studios, you've been doing basically quite a few things, but mainly the cover art for Heroes of Ruin. You've also done some conceptual stuff for us for the characters. How did this kind of all come together? Did Square Enix approach you, or...?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes, I think, if I remember correctly now, I think it was just an email.
Yeah.
I think just based on what they've seen of my work that I've done for either the comics or the movies or other video games, and I think just like most of my work happens is I get an email and it all starts from an email. So I think that's how it was, and then I came to the London studios just to have a talk and look over what the project was, and pretty much as soon as I got back home that evening I started kind of on it, and that's pretty much it.
Brilliant. So your main work is focused around our 4 characters. Has there been a particular one that you've enjoyed drawing the most?
I think at different times I liked each one, but I think the one overall that I enjoyed the most is Vindicator. I really like the the lion kind of because it's not only that he has a lion head, but like his whole personality and body language and everything has that very kind of powerful and regal quality to it. So I tried to do the armor so it reflected that as well, and it all kind of really gelled together really well. And then also in all of the illustrations that I've done of him, they were very kind of powerful poses and either brooding or action and stuff. So I really enjoyed drawing him.
You've done, like I said, various bits of artwork for us, not only the cover, but loads of sort of concept artwork. Is there any particular piece that you enjoyed the most, of one favourite piece that stands out to you? You have done quite a bit for us.
I mean, I think the big widescreen, piece stands out just because it was such an elaborate image, and it has so many different characters and the forest and the ruins and all of this stuff, and it's probably one of the most kind of populated images that I've ever done. So that really sticks in my mind, just because even when I was just sketching it out before I painted it, I was thinking, oh boy, this is going to be, a whole lot of work, but hopefully really cool once it's finished.
Did it take a long time to do, or?
Yeah, it took quite a long time. I mean, I think, just the fact that you have so many different characters, but each one has a unique design to them, and then all of the enemies, there are different groups of enemies, and each one also has different design characteristics to it that you have to use, and even within those subgroups there are differences as well. So I tried to use as many different as I could. So basically, I couldn't just repeat the same design. So it was like, I don't know, 10, 12 characters, 16. I don't remember the number now, but they were all different, but all had to be quite precise, because obviously they had to reflect what we've done on the box art and the other stuff. So yeah, that's why it took such a long time, just because there was so much, that I had to focus on, and you get into like really tight and all the details. And
what about the Avengers? So obviously that's a film, which is completely different medium to games. What does your work involve for that? Is it concept design or?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of cover, because I'm not a studio guy. I don't work at the Marvel Studios, so I'm kind of almost in like a consultant role, but I consult by creating images. So I know it's kind of a strange thing, but basically they like to see my ideas for certain things, and then my take on Iron Man, my take on a lot of, actually what I do is scenes that they think they would like to maybe include in the movie, but until they see it painted, they don't know. So I paint a scene, and then they like it, hopefully, and then they write it into the script, which is kind of almost backwards, because you think the script comes first, but often they have an idea and think is cool, but they don't really know if it's gonna be until they see an image. So they're called, we call them keyframes. So they're like key images. So if the director suddenly has an idea, oh, how about we do Iron Man flying with jet airplanes? How would that look? So I paint it, and then they like it, and next thing you know, it's in the movie.
So what would your advice be for anyone out there who's interested in being an illustrator, an artist, and they want to take it forward and make a profession out of it? I mean,
like the most basic answer to that is just to do it and get really good at it, and I think and I've actually said this a lot before in talks and stuff, so I kind of sound to myself like I'm repeating myself, but I think it's especially when you're like in at university, college, school, whatever, and you want to be a professional artist, don't compete with your peers, but look what's published out there, because actually if you're going to make a success out of your artwork, you're not, after you graduate, you're not going to be competing with your classmates, you're going to be competing with professional artists out there. And I think that was very important for me when I also in college I realized, wait, being the best in class doesn't really mean anything. You got to be really good overall because, companies like Square Enix are not going to go to my class and say, we're going to choose the best, in this class. They're going to, look at who's, the best available throughout the world. So I think that's very important. And then just, I guess promoting yourself, not as such as like promoting, but more just getting your work out there so it's accessible to, creative directors, art directors, editors. So, having a website now is the best thing, or the social media posting, getting feedback from people, and also, getting the work out there. And because back in the day, when I first started, you actually had to set up an appointment, take your portfolio, show it or mail it out. But now everything is accessible, just, a few keystrokes and, you're there. So in many ways it's easier, but in many ways it's also harder because you have a lot more competition because everybody can do that.
Right. So thank you for speaking with us.
It's all right.
It's been really good. Where can people find your work? What's your website and social medias?
I'm on Facebook, so if you just look up Adi Granov, actually I have a page, which is Adi Granov Illustration, and then I have a website which is adigranov.net, so just one.
Brilliant.
Adigranov, one word, .net.
Excellent. Check it out. Thanks again, and for all the latest updates, go to heroesofruin.com.